Happy New Year, and welcome back to a new lens. I'm Wild Will. Every January it seems just like, I don't know, everybody just has to give you a performance review, like everybody has to put you on blast, tell you that you're not good enough, and there's like 3,000 ways to improve yourself in the next 3 months, even though most of these things never work or, take way longer than what everybody's trying to sell you online. And I'm kind of just tired of it, like all this selling of like you need to become a completely different person in order to, fill some kind of need or role or desire. You don't need to like reinvent yourself every January and become this completely new person. Resolutions are never like sticking around for that long, anyways. Nobody actually like stays with it. The amount of clear out of gyms from like January to February is always just insane. And like most of the resolutions that you're making anyways are just like self-hate in disguise, where it's like, oh, I'm a lazy person, so I'm gonna go, you know, beat myself up in the gym for a couple hours every day and become a machine. So, it's like, uh, just, I mean, I guess the big thing is just like ignore what you see online because like it doesn't matter what all these people are like trying to sell you, right? Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to sell you on some sort of idea or concept or pill or supplement or course. Definitely the courses. Gotta sell a course. That's like the best thing that they can sell you. You're giving them money and they're giving you nothing. So it really is the ultimate sale. Because I mean, everything you can see or that you want to know is going to be online and free, anyways. And, you as a person have the ability to, at any point in time, just change who you are, change your mindset, do something different, find a new path, work on yourself. And like, like it's not difficult, and it's not found with these processes that people online are trying to sell you. Like, yeah, going to the gym every day helps, but like, if you already like do all these things, maybe like a different approach is what you're looking for, right? Like, not to jump in like 100% into like something, but to like, just to get moving a little bit, just like be a little more active, right? Like, not everybody is trying to be an athlete, not everybody's trying to be a bodybuilder. Some people are just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, right? To make sure that they're not getting diseases in the future or, whatever else, right? Like, you just want to be able to be mobile when you get into your old age and things. Like, you don't want your body to hurt. Like, back pain and knee pain are just like killers for so many people. So it's like, I think most people want to find a balance, and like, unfortunately, doing like a balanced rational thing when you're trying to like sell something to somebody isn't gonna like work. That's like the opposite of what you're doing. So like, right, it is that time of year again, and this is all to be expected, and like we have to sift through a lot of this stuff ourselves, which is okay. Like, it's easy to tell, like, not everything not everything is as it seems, right? Don't believe everything you see online. Like, so many products, right? All the, like the Timu products, for example, is like, oh my god, it's so cheap, and then you get it, and it's like, wow, this is like a $1 plastic item. I mean, good for them, right? Because like that same $1 item is being sold on Amazon for 10 times the price, and people are still buying it. It's like, wow, like what is happening? Like, this is just so unnecessary, to be honest, right? It's like the whole fast fashion world made it into just like fast consumerism in general, where like you need billions of the most popular items that are just getting sifted through and thrown out anyways. So It's I mean, I guess that's sort of a different conversation. That's a little side tangent for you ADHDers out there who jump from one topic to another. That's hopefully that kept you interested for just a moment while I try to I don't know, just figure out who do you want to be, right? You need to ask yourself rather than trying to be this perfectionist, right? How did you grow? What can you tolerate, and what did you prove to yourself over the past year? And take the small wins, right? 1% every day, 2% every day is a lot, And it's for me, I follow, at least for working out, I call it the 4% rule, because you only need 4% of your day every single day. It's 1 hour. When you say it it's 4%, it's really not a lot. You can fit a lot within an hour. You can do way more than you think within a short amount of time. And doing those short little segments every day is better for you than trying to do one long session over, let's say one long session every week is worse than doing five short sessions, overall same amount of time, but doing the short sessions is just going to be more beneficial for you, right? Change happens in small amounts. Things become habits, right? Excellence is a habit. So carrying yourself and acting a certain way and leading yourself there um, takes practice, but it's one of those things that it's exponential. So the more you do it, the gains that you get back from it are more and more and more, right? So you don't need to completely rework yourself, right? Everyone's a work in progress, and New Year's is supposed to be hey, let's remember all the stuff that we did, what got us here, and let's build on it. Because you're not starting over. Why would you want to start over every year? You're just gonna forget all that progress you made and reinvent yourself completely. What if you already have a solid foundation, man? Chances are there's people out there who are already, enjoying what you've built and shared. So you don't need to do a complete revamp. It's never usually the right answer. I mean, sometimes, right? But you don't often need to do it. And I think you would be jumping the shark, doing something like that, jumping into the deep end or whatever water-based analogy you would want to use in that situation. Um, but yeah, I mean, right? All that to say, January is kind of weird. It's a weird time, right? Weather's off. People, right, getting to this weird mental state, and the holidays are just so polarizing for a lot of people, right? There's a lot of emotion and that gets drawn up. I've a lot of my friends have cried a lot this holiday season. I could share that for sure. It's it's tough for a lot of people out there, right? It's just that time of the year, as they say. As much as you can have fun and do all these really cool, incredible things and be grateful to people, there's a lot of people who, we lost, and a lot of people who we try to remember and hope to remember. Um, so I'm definitely hoping that as we progress into 2026, that, the takeaways that you guys have is that you don't need a new life, you need a new lens, and that you just need to look at things a little bit differently. And, you'll find what it is you're seeking. You're already doing more and doing better than anyone is ever going to know. And it really does just come down to you, right? I think that is probably one of the most important things to remember too, is that it's either the entire world is crazy or you're crazy. And most likely it's you, right? You being crazy is going to be a little more easier than the world being crazy to manage anyways. So it is so interesting. It is a lot of self-management, right? That's what everybody seems to struggle with, is like those inner things of like being able to like actually have the willpower, or discipline, or whatever we want to call it, right? Like temptation is more of like a religious or spiritual like lingo regarding it. um and it's like just the way that you can conduct yourself is definitely right. It affects how you interact with the world, interact with people, how people see and perceive and treat you. Like moving around in like different, I don't know, more positive headspaces and things might get you a discount from like a retail person right at the checkout counter. So it's like you probably, when you are interacting with people, is probably the interactions are probably better than you think, and you're probably like in your own head. And I think that's like the thing that a lot of people struggle with, and probably also why like people go so deep into like New Year's resolutions. It's like you do like this overcorrective pendulum swing, because most of the time you're so far on the backswing. Like you haven't been consistent in having a formed habit of excellence, or whatever, again, whatever it is you're trying to do, right? But as apparently it's not Socrates or Aristotle or whoever. I think it's like an actual like English author from like the 18th century who said excellence is a habit, but it's just like a misconception. But either way, it is, it still rings true. And it's like these things that you are trying to do, you need to be doing in like little doses, over the course of longer periods of time, and you will have just a better experience like doing all of it. Like learning a language doing it a little bit every day is going to benefit you more. Going for small runs or walks or stretches every single day is going to benefit you more than doing a 3-hour session once a week. Just to reiterate, like, I think we all get so caught up in the fact that it's like, this is the one time a year everybody does their performance reviews. So, because it's the one time a year everybody's doing it, you need to do these huge drastic changes that, end up like just destroying the positive patterns and things that you've already had established. Um, and that's okay. Like, I think checking in is good. Checking in more often would be better. And if you would do like check-ins, like every 3 months, like, a business might give you a performance review, you would actually like maybe do some deeper considerations about like the changes that you are making, and making more meaningful changes, and ones that are not so disruptive to the systems that you've already put in place to like you're just like uprooting your whole life and like changing your whole schedule, and like causing a bunch of unnecessary stress when you could be doing the small improvements, right? Cooking a home cooked meal once a week, getting to bed like 20 or 30 minutes sooner every night, right? Getting sunlight, playing less video games, reading a book, whatever. Like these are all like small things that you can like add in, and you have way more time than you think. you know like I think like on average, man, like the amount that people are spending on their phones these days, it's like 8 hours a day. Like it's crazy. Like I've been there too. Like it's really really bad. Like when you get to like some points, the amount that like this thing takes your attention. So even if it's just that, spending like an hour less on your phone every day, like just to like get some other things done, or just spend time with your family and like talk to people. It's tough. I get it. Right. Again, the holidays are one of those times, and we're encouraged to like recount all these things during this time, and there is cultural significance to it. But I'm all for creating your own culture, creating your own holiday, creating your own ceremony, your own regimens, right? Your own programming. You should be doing what's best for you, and it does take a lot of trial and error, and you kind of need to adopt the mindset of a scientist, right? Do a lot of experimentation, right? There's no time like the present. And, you're never too old to change things up. And you should change things up, but do it in small doses. We're better at doing things, in bits at a time, not, a huge overhaul just at once, just because this is like the one time a year that we're told this is what we're supposed to do, and we all kind of just go with it. Um, so, yeah, I think that is probably going to be it here. I will see you all very soon. More interviews, more book reviews, more talks coming soon. Obviously, happy holidays and a happy new year. And, as we progress further along, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of growth and a lot of positives that, come from everyone. And I do have hope that, 2026 is just going to be a better year altogether. So, I've been Wild Will, this New Lens. I'll catch you next time.